Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. There's a heavyweight contest at the weekend that really interests me because it involves the guy I think is, he of all the contenders, the up and coming guys, this is the guy that impresses me the most, and it's Jared Anderson, Big Baby, the real Big Baby, not that other, clown. This guy's the real deal as far as I'm concerned. I think he's only 23, American, 6'4", big lump, very powerful, very well schooled, and fights way beyond his years, both as in terms of his chronological years and his actual fistic years, because this guy just looks so relaxed in the ring. A lot of power. All 14 of his wins have come by way of knockout or stoppage, and he looks so relaxed. He picks his punches well. He looks to have a nice fluid sort of movements. Always so relaxed, like I say, orthodox fighter, and as the record indicates, a lot of power, because of his last 6 fights, 5 have come by second round KO. He had 5 in a row, and then last time out he fought George Arias, who took him into the third. And the guy just looks really special. I mean, it's weird because he talks about he doesn't really follow boxing. He wants to make his money and get out by the time he's, I think, 27 or something, the grand old age of, And he looks like one of those heavyweights who matures early, because he doesn't. If you watched him fight, you wouldn't think he was only 23. You wouldn't think he hadn't had many tests at heavyweight. He stopped Jerry Forrest in 2 rounds, so Jerry's what you'd call a B- fighter, I guess. But he just walks through everyone, and he hasn't faced any terrific opponents, guys that are really going to take him rounds, you would think. But sometimes it's the way you get your work done that indicates how good you are. And I really like Anderson. I think he's a terrific talent. And he's coming up against Charles Martin, who, of course, everyone remembers for getting flattened in 2 rounds against Anthony Joshua. That was the first of Joshua's world title belts. Charles Martin actually, he won the title. It was a vacant title, wasn't it? One of the ones that Tyson Fury dropped. And he beat Vyacheslav Glazkov, and Glazkov retired with a knee injury, and I don't think Glazkov has fought since. So that injury must have been very bad. Glazkov from the Ukraine was fancied to beat Martin, but Martin picked up the IBF belt and then lost it, or cashed it in, you might say, to Joshua. Since then, he's actually, even though he's lost a couple of fights, he's actually shown himself to be a lot better than people were giving him credit for, because he won a couple of comeback fights against low-level guys, and then he went in with Adam Kalnacki. This is when Kalnacki was undefeated and was flying, and they were fattening him up for Wilder, I guess. Wilder at the time was a WBC champ. And he went the distance with Kalnacki and gave him a good fight. It was, I think Kalnacki won a unanimous decision, maybe by a couple of points, or 2 or 3 points on the cards. And then Charles Martin went off again. He had another 3 wins against lower level guys, including a 6-round stoppage of Gerald Washington. Washington, of course, gets stopped by everyone. And then he faced Luis Ortiz. And in fact, early on against Ortiz, I know Ortiz is ancient, but he looked better than he's ever done, Charles Martin. He had Ortiz down in the 1st and the 4th, but he got tagged in the 6th and got floored twice, and the fight was stopped in favour of Ortiz. But he must have been kicking himself with that fight, because he was winning that fight quite clearly. And he, like I say, he was looking pretty good. Now that was in 2022, I think. Wasn't that long ago, 18 months, 2 years ago roughly. He's come back with a 4-round win over a guy called Devin Vargas, who's just really a journeyman. And now he's going in with Anderson. Now, Anderson is only 23, but Martin at this point, he's towards the end of his career. He's 37 now. And this has got to be his last chance at world level. If he beats Anderson, of course, he moves up into the upper echelons of the weight division, or at the very least, he gets himself a few extra paydays as a gatekeeper type. But if he beats Anderson, I mean, this is an opportunity for Martin. But Anderson absolutely flying. The one thing is, Martin is a southpaw, and Anderson's orthodox, and I'm trying to think who Anderson has faced who's a southpaw. So that could theoretically give. Is Forrest a southpaw? Jerry Forrest? I can't remember. I think he is. I think he might be. And of course he got it done in 2 rounds. But so maybe the southpaw thing don't bother Anderson at all. But yeah, Martin is going to have to fight the fight of his life to stay with Anderson. And this is a 10-round fight, and Anderson is going to almost certainly come out looking for him, looking to put pressure on him, looking to cut off the ring, which he does very well. He looks way beyond, as I said before, I'm repeating myself, but he looks, in terms of schooling, looks way beyond his years. And Martin's going to have to probably stay out of trouble for the first 3 or 4 rounds, actually. I mean, I don't see, unless he lands something big and catches Anderson cold, which I don't think he will do, he's going to be under the cosh early on. But of course, the thing is, a lot of people talk about taking guys into deeper waters. You've got to do that. You've got to make them fight at a pace they don't like, and you've got to actually sting them a little bit and get their respect, so that they're a bit reticent about throwing their own punches. Can Martin do that? Well, he did have Luis Ortiz down twice in the first 4 rounds. He's got a bit of pop to his punches, Martin. I mean, he's not bad. I mean, he's got 29 wins, 3 defeats, and a draw. And 26 of his wins are by KO, so he can pop a bit. But against Anderson, the thing is, Anderson hasn't gone many rounds. He's been getting these guys out of there early, so maybe this is the guy to do it. I think I'm right in saying Anderson hasn't gone, is it beyond 4 or 6? Something like that. I think when he fought Kingsley Obey at the start of his career, and he's been fighting regularly. That's another thing about Anderson, he's been fighting quite regularly. I think he went the 6th round. It must have been a knockout because all his wins are by knockout, but I think he went into the 6th. But that's the only time I can think of. And Martin, if he takes him in 7, 8, 9, 10, who knows? But realistically, I think you've got to favour Anderson. I pick Anderson to, like I say, come out strong, immediately take the centre of the ring, put the pressure on Martin, push Martin into survival mode. Even though he's a southpaw, Martin, I think the right hand is going to land. I think Martin might go into his shell. I think it might take a few rounds to catch up with Martin. Perhaps he will take Anderson a few extra rounds. But I think this will be a stoppage win for Anderson between the 4th and the 6th, those sort of middle rounds of a 10-rounder. I think he'll eventually catch up with him, land the right punches. He knows when to fire the right punches. The right punches being the right cross. I think he might hook to the body as well. But his footwork, Anderson's footwork for a big man is very, very good, and he always holds his shape. He really does. He never looks ragged at all. And I know what people are going to say, hasn't been tested. What happens when someone hits him back? Will he be able to stay as calm and as calculated and as, cool under pressure? I just get the feeling this guy's a real deal and will be able to. I don't think Martin's going to ask him many questions, but I hope I'm wrong. Because I want to see Anderson being taken rounds and put under pressure. But I don't really see. I see this as being predominantly one-way traffic with Anderson stopping Martin, like I say, between the 4th and the 6th round. So you tell me what you think. What do you think of this? Do you think Martin's, maybe I'm not giving him enough credit? He is better than people make out. I mean, he was better than that blowout against Joshua, definitely. And I think his career has suffered because he's not always in shape, and also, like a lot of PBC fighters, he doesn't fight enough. Anderson, is he with PBC or Top Rank? I want to say he's with PBC. I could be wrong about that. He might be with Top Rank. But he's been getting work. His 14 fights have come in quick succession, and there is no substitute for keeping busy. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below, and as usual, I'll reply to them. I like reading them. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I always appreciate your time, and hit the like button. It helps us out as well. We want to build the channel up, so spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And looking forward to reading your comments, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye for now.